Wait, Max Cat, are you saying that ironically or are you saying that for real? Did you see the video I was just talking about that I put out earlier this week? It was like a direct response to comments like that they're not going to complete Star Citizen because they make the most money it is. How do you know they're making the most money they could right now? Like, that doesn't make any sense. They've never released the game itself, so we couldn't know if they were going to make more money that way. Because the success is unbelievably unprecedented. Yeah, but that's like saying, why would we ever go to another planet? Earth has the best minerals we'll ever know. We can't even possibly know that until we do the other option, right? You can assume they make more money in their current model since they've made more money than a lot of games that have full release. I mean, you could assume that. Let's see. What's an MMO? Somebody give me an MMO that's like middle of the park, not super popular, like only kind of popular. Guild Wars 2. Dude, I don't even know what that is right there. No, not Turkish liras, Jesus. Give me the USD. All right, 20 million. In what time? In a quarter. I don't know what the player base of Guild Wars 2 is, but 20 million in a quarter is not too bad. I think CIG probably makes more than that. Yeah, Turkish inflation ain't great. It's terrible. But like, how many people? Okay, let's look at it this way. How many people do you guys think are watching Star Citizen and ready to buy ships on a monthly basis right now? I would guess it couldn't be more than like a couple dozen thousand, few dozen thousand people. I'm thinking the amount of people who would be looking at Star Citizen to buy ships, let's say for like a $200 ship, is tiny compared to the amount of people who would be looking at Star Citizen if it were running perfectly, if it were quote unquote completed, if it were in the news cycle every few weeks for doing something, if you had gigantic streamers constantly playing it, if there were 20,000+ people watching it on Twitch. The pool of people that you could sell cosmetics to on a daily basis with that kind of viewership compared to the 10,000 people right now that are looking to buy a spaceship, in my opinion, seems gargantuan. The amount of new people who would get onboarded into Star Citizen if it actually worked and then stuck around and looked at the store compared to the amount of people who try Star Citizen out for 10 minutes right now, decide it's fucking and then never look at it again, I feel like is gargantuan. They don't have much of a market right now. They make a lot of money, which is great because they sell expensive ships to a small amount of people. But if this were a successful game in the market that we have right now, I don't think you could absolutely say that they make more money doing this than they would if the game was sold. Now, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it doesn't come off to me like a for sure statement. It equally doesn't come off to me like something you would bank the entirety of Star Citizen's future on. We're talking about releasing a game that could be the actual magnum opus for a lot of the people working on it. Magnus opus? Magnum opus? Whatever. Like, the idea of just not releasing it when you could get all that credit on top of all that money, on top of Squadron 42 and sequels and like deals for other types of media, it would be weird to not give that a go, right? When the alternative is, okay, we'll just keep people having their jobs. Unless they're pocketing all the money. Which, I mean, maybe they are, but they release their financials and it seems like they're using all the money. They've built a culture around the development itself that's very novel and lets them take their time in a way that no other studio ever has that I know of. See, that I agree with. And that's what I said in my video. I don't think they're dragging out the development to make more money. I think they're dragging it out because they can simply afford to do so with the money they made. Because, like, the freaking cosmetic stores make a ton of money. Dev teams for MMOs get slimmed down after release. That's also something. They wouldn't have to spend as much money. Looking at the best case scenario and ignoring the fact that many games fail at launch, nobody knows what happens when SC launches, but we know for a fact that they will keep making money if they don't release. Please interview an economist and they will tell you the same. Find me a good economist and I will. To be honest, I was looking for somebody for the longest time that could talk about building companies and I couldn't find them. People tell me to interview this and interview that, but you know how hard it is to get somebody to come onto a podcast to interview? I am looking at best case scenario. Let's say not so best case scenario. They release Squadron 42. It puts out 3 to 5 million in sales. That makes them another 150 million or so in a couple of years. Star Citizen hits middle of the park. They go from 10,000 active players to, let's say, 30 instead of a couple hundred, whatever. How much does a MMO? What's the active player count of an average MMO? MMO populations. I'm guessing this is likely not super reliable. Oh my God, they what? 80,000? 80,000 active players in the Star Citizen? What is this thing based on? Black Desert. 12,000. Okay. So Ark is at 30. Man, so I have no idea where Star Citizen would sit on a list like this. I'm pretty sure they've actually said something about that. Let's see. Star Citizen, letter from the chairman. 2021, I want to say. Maybe it was 22. Here we go. Okay. So unique players per year, they were up to 100,000. Unique players per year. In 2022, 100,000 unique players per year. Imagine how much that would have to increase for them to reach freaking 80,000 per day. Here we go. In 2022, they were averaging 240,000 monthly active users. So, take it or leave it. Most people are telling me that the game is empty and the player base has completely left. If they were hitting 240,000 active users monthly in 2022, what are the chances that 2 years later they're hitting 80,000 daily? They don't really put out daily numbers either, which is probably because it's not incredibly high. But there are less people playing right now. That's for sure. And I would assume that there's less than 20,000 daily active users. Even that sounds like a lot to me, but who knows? I don't. Regardless, I think that whatever the number is, I can't imagine it would go down after release. Now, I mean, it could. They could have a terrible launch. All of this could be for nothing. And maybe the game does die. But if you're the person who wants to release this game, would you just sit on it? My whole point is that the number of people paying attention to Star Citizen right now is so small. It's tiny. I'm not the biggest YouTuber to cover this game. I don't have the overarching numbers, but from the way that my videos go in terms of views, the way that my subscribers per month go, I can tell that it's not that much. If I put out a good video for a game like Starfield, it explodes in comparison. And you can look at that for a lot of different people who are making videos for Star Citizen. If you put out a video for a released game, or even a game that's about to release, it can get way wider reach than something for Star Citizen, because there's simply not that many people watching Star Citizen stuff. There's not that many people interested in this. All the people who are interested in Star Citizen, a lot of them are just chilling and waiting. Maybe coming to a stream like this, most likely not, but just hanging out. And my point is that I believe if they reached a time that this game actually had good press, wasn't just called a scam everywhere outside of the main community, was able to put on commercials and advertisements and show its name in places, then there would be a lot more opportunity for them to sell stuff to people. They aren't sitting on SC, they're bringing in record-breaking annual funding. Dude, they're scrambling. If you honestly think that they are financially comfortable, after losing people to Star Atlas, they couldn't even keep people on board this game, and instead they got lost to Star Atlas. They're not swimming in money, and maybe that's because they've bloated the company so much, but it's not like they're just comfortably scooting along and making a whole bunch of money. That's why they've started doing these more desperate looking sales. That's why they've started to do more variant ship sales. I don't see it as a comfortable situation that they're in right now. My point is, I don't think they are, the fact that they're making record-breaking money doesn't mean they are in a record-breaking money situation where they feel super nice and sit back and chill. I still think the pressure is very much on. They are hurting to get this game into a more stable state. They are hurting to develop the tech that they have sold this game on for so much time. They are hurting to deliver the single player game that they have advertised since its delayed release date 8 years ago. They hurting. And that's why, like, that's what's making people mad too, is they're doing these ship sales, like the Peregrine, like the Firebird, like the Attles. All these things that they're selling are because they are hurting for money, because they need to get these things done, and the freaking black tunnel of darkness is closing in on them to get Squadron 42 released. I don't think anybody can disagree with this. We live in a attention-based economy now, right? Whatever you're doing, no matter what it is, if you can get enough attention from the right people, you can make more and more money. It's not about making a good product. It's not about making a good opinion. It's not about having the best take. It's not even about telling the truth. If you can just get the most eyes, then you can make the most money. We see this in so many different areas of life now. Grifter's gonna grift all over the internet, and you could call Star Citizen a grift, whatever. It could be a scam, it could not. Either way, the most amount of eyes makes the most money. And if they were able to release Squadron alongside Starfield, that would have been good marketing for them. Also, yeah, Starfield didn't quite meet expectations, so that would have helped. I will stand by the stance that if they can blow up the window of people, the group of people, from the 20,000 people who are looking to buy spaceships right now, or let's say 80,000 people looking to buy spaceships right now, to the 800,000 people who are looking to buy skins and apartment furniture and apartments and houses and stuff, I think that's a better way for them to make some money long term. Man, I need to stop with the hot takes today. I'm sorry. Somebody's going to clip all this stuff, make a little montage of it. I'm going to be living this down for the rest of the year.